Okay, so it's a Sunday morning. We are ready for some nice coding. So what we are doing today is I found this nice repository on GitHub. It's by Brad Traversy, and it is 50 projects, 50 days. So there are 50 nice projects, and I have pulled it into mine. I have forked this repo, and what I've got is so here, and this is I am serving it through my browser. So on the right you can see the code served on the browser, and on the left we will be doing the addition. So what I found is, what I'm trying to do is, each of these projects are fixed, and so it's inside the body, and there is no scrollable. You can't scroll because they are position fixed or absolute, and that creates a problem because I'm trying to put all these 50 projects in one single web page. So that would create some challenges, right? So what we have to target is the position absolutes and the position fixed. So let me start with position fixed because those are the fastest to get rid of. Let me search. So if I search for fixed, I have around 12 results, 9 files. So leaving this index, I think 8 of the projects are using position fixed. So let's go to 3D box background. So in that one, 3D box background. So let me open that code, 3D boxes background. Let me get the index. The script we are not working on right now because the script will work later. We will also have to namespace them properly. So Alt Z for warping the lines. Now let's open this in the browser. So 3D box background, and I'm opening the index. So what this does is a very simple thing. If you click the button, they come together, the 16 boxes, and if you click it again, so it's a toggle, the space between free. Good, nice. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go into the body. First I will add some sections. So each of my section will be 1 page height, so 100 VH. So let me have 3 sections. What I'm going to do is take this last section and put everything inside it. So everything that was before it will be inside it. And this middle section, I will put a background to it so that we can separate, right? That what is, and the color I'm choosing is crimson today. So crimson, So when I refresh this, it doesn't change because these are all fixed in place. What I have to do is, what was there previously on body, I will change that to section. I will make sure that the height is 100H, overflow is hidden, and position is relative. So if something is absolutely positioned, it will be inside, it will come inside the section, and not be absolute with respect to the viewport. Also, I have found that here in the star, everything should have a margin 0 and padding 0 for everything to look nice and cozy. So let's refresh this thing. So here I find, so it's 3 sections. These are working fine, but this magic button is somehow fixed to the top. So let's see, where is the magic button? That is the fix we found out from the search. So we'll just update this to absolute. That should do the magic. So the first section has nothing, the second section is red, crimson, and the third section has magic on it. So I've successfully changed this one. Now let's go back to our search. So let's update the search. Now we have this animated countdown. This will be fun. So we protect the style and also the script. So again, we are doing the same thing. So go into body, take the section, make 3 ones. The last section will contain whatever we have till here. So everything in the body goes inside before the script tag. And the middle section will get the crimson color. Okay, let's do that. Background, crimson. Nice. In the style, what we'll do? Margin padding 0 in the beginning for all. So let me do that. And body will now become the section. So each of the section will get what body was doing before. So we have the height, we have the overflow, and we need the position relative because there are fixed things inside this. And anything that is fixed will now become correct. It will be absolute. Any other positions we have? We have this one position. There is another fixed. So this we can blindly update to absolute. And this is relative, this is absolute. So num span with respect to nums, it's absolute with respect to the position. And then the keyframes, the replay. Again, replay span is relative, so replay span after is absolute to the relative, so that will not cause a problem. So if I'm doing this right, everything should be in place now. So this was an animated countdown. Okay, so I have to close this. Let me open animated countdown. And yeah, so the first div, second div, and the third div is we can replay. So that's how the animated countdown goes. So we have sorted for this one as well. So I move this to the third section. Nice. Now let's see what else we have on fixed. Now we have this background slider. Okay, let's open the background slider, and also I will open this to show you how it looks here. So this is the image changes, the background also changes, and it's locked in to the body. So what we're going to do, we are going to do our nifty trick. We take everything inside body, inside our section. We are doing this again. So by now you will know what I'm doing. I'm doing the same thing again. So everything till script goes into the section. The second section gets that color. Let's choose a different color. Lime is something I will like. So let's go with lime this time. And in styles, starting with star, we will have a margin 0, padding 0, and body will become section now. So we have a height, we have override, but the position will be relative. So everything after this child of the section will be relative to the section. Now let's look at absolute position. That will be fine. Relative, absolute, fixed. So this array, we have to make this absolute, and that should solve our problem. Let's see. So the first one gets the image. I think we have lost our arrows. So look at the arrows. Where are the arrows? Yeah, so button, left arrow and right arrow. So dot arrow, position was absolute instead of fixed, top 50%, and these are the arrows, right? So possibly they need a Z index. Let's see if that occurs. Z index 999. Yeah, they're there. So they have moved to this place instead of being on the left and right. So can we calculate 15 VW minus 65? So left arrow, this is the left and this is the right. So maybe not 15 VW, but can it be like 1 VW? How does that look? So it's there, but it's hidden. And the image, wherever this slide is, slide container, body before has -1, and the slide container and the slide has a Z index of 1, so that is fine. So -1 VW is throwing it inside. Yeah, so the image is not being contained. So we saw that body before, this position absolute, body on body before. So rather than body, it should be section, and I think it will apply on all the sections. So now it is not contained. So background center, and this is cover. Background size is cover. Background size on the section is cover. So let me refresh. Yeah. And if we have this absolute position, so what remains is how to position these arrows. So you can find out how to position these arrows. That would be a nice challenge for you guys. But we have solved the fixed problem. That one is solved. So just look into how you can position these arrows nicely. Next we have this Netflix mobile navigation, right? So let's open that up. Let's open the index. So what we have is background slider. We don't need that anymore. Background slider. So let's look at the Netflix before we make the changes. So let's look at it. So this is how it looks. There is a little slight scroll, and this is how the screen is working. You click on that, these are all hash. Okay, so you close this and they close, and that's how the default app works. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to do sections, have 3 of those, make this section go to the end till the script, before this, just before the script. Style, background, what color to choose now, let's say rosy brown this time. So it will not show because everything is currently fixed. Let me change this to section. Why I'm doing the margin, let me show you. This padding on both sides. By default there is some padding and margin, hence I'm doing margin 0 and padding 0 on all of them. Now we'll see these margins are gone. Okay, so the menu is on top and everything comes on the bottom, and this is fixed. So the menu is nicely fixed. So this can also be fine. This can be fine if we can do with the fixed. It won't be a problem. We can have other sections above, and we can also change this to absolute. How can we do that? Let's look at all the positions again. So this one will get the position relative, and look at other positions. This is fixed, the open button. So this one I will make it absolute. Then there is a nav button which will also become absolute, and there is a relative to position, absolute position. So these positionings are in place. So now the menu button also goes down into its own section. First section has nothing, second section has this color, and the third section works as you expect. And it is not fixed, so it will move with its own section. And you can also close. So based on your use case, you can have it fixed, you can have the menu fixed or absolute, and that's how we'll make this change. So Netflix type navigation, that one is done. Next is this Notes app. Let's see what's there in the Notes app. So we'll go there, open the index, close this tab. So in this, let's look at the Notes app first. Let's look at without the changes. So you can add a note, you can add something, looks good. You can edit, or you can edit, or you can not edit. Then add another note, another new sticky, and another note. So this one remains edited, or if you click this, now this is not edited. You can't edit it anymore. Okay, got it. And you can delete this. So this is the default behavior of the app. What we are going to do, we are going to put everything in its own section. So repeating this again. Control C, C, VV, Control V 3 times, and this last section we will move it to the end of it. So leaving the script out, and here I can have the style, background, tomato. This is each of the sections, and then outline none on star. I will get my margin. I can have my padding. Section, body becomes the section, position is relative, and I don't see a height here, so I need to put a height 100 of each. So if everything is working fine, it should be 3 tabs, and this one is fixed, so we'll find out how many fixed positions are there. 1. Okay, so I press Ctrl D to find out other occurrences, but there's only 1, so let me update that one. Now what happens? So the first section is empty, second section is empty, third section has whatever it had, and there's a fourth section where the add things is happening. So let me refresh this thing. So let me delete. Now let's see how those add sections work. So somehow they're adding at the outside of this block. So there must be some reason that there are other positions which are making these notes. So you'll see this note, margin, height, overflow, scroll, and the background. So whatever is there in note section relative, margin, box shadow. So this will not take it out. So maybe something else is throwing it off. The section. Okay, I know what is happening, because the JavaScript is going to tack it somewhere else. So here the script, I have to look into the script. So whenever for each add new node, and add new node, what it does is finds the div and then adds the node. So it will create element of a div instead of section, and where will it tag? It will tag node in our HTML, node.remove. It will add all of those, and then document it will append child to body append child. So it is document body append child. Instead, what we want to do is we want to get the last section, right? So for the last section, we have to get document append child get element by tag. So we have to get element by tag, document get element by tag name, and it will be select. So it will be select, and it will be the last one. So select nth of or last child, and then append it to this. So will that work? So when we refresh it, that is gone. When we add, no, it's gone. It's causing some problems. Let's look. Append child is not a function. Get element by tag name, and then append child is not a function. So this is having some problems. So to look at the let's just have select. Let's see how that works. So all the selects will have an add node. What will happen? No, it fails again. F12 to see what is our get append child is not a function. Okay, so it's not an append child function. I have to put in ID. Let's put an ID, that will be easier. Get element by ID, and let's call it note box or note box. Yeah, so note box, and have my section called note box. First section, second section, third section. So when I add, yeah, now it is inside one. If you don't want to edit, you close that. Inside two. So using our element ID, because it will only select one, we are able to put our section, third section up. So this one is functional as well. So like that, you can take up this challenge and fix the other three of them in rotating nav animation, sticky navigation, and toast notification. So these things are also nice exercise to look into. And then the next challenge will be putting everything in those sections. So having multiple sections, you will have multiple sections which are scrollable. So one of the changes that we made was in animated countdown 3D. Yeah. So there can be multiple sections, 1, 2, 3, and each of the section will have all these 50 projects. So we can have 50 sections and 50 projects. So the HTML and the CSS is relatively easy, but the JavaScript will face the challenge because it is calling different IDs, different tags. So you have to be very careful about which element you are changing. So take this up as a challenge, and I will also try to solve this. So this will be a very good exercise to get all your concepts on CSS and JavaScript in place. And I wish you a very good time solving this, good fruitful time learning more about HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. So with that, I will leave you in this video and see